That's back when my parents in my young life. I my parents were, my mom was good. She's all more like the father and the daddy in my life. And most of my years of my young life, I don't really remember until I started using dope, crack. My father and my stepdad were both alcoholics. And so that's kind of where I started learning, that it was okay. My dad, he always was the type that he would drink. He wasn't violent, but my stepdad was violent. And everything that he did, tearing up stuff, breaking stuff, he always blamed me. He used to beat us with drop cords, anything he could get his hands on. But then that's when my addiction started at a young age. I was about 12, 13 years old, because I actually don't remember the years before that. I don't know if it was a trauma that happened to me or something like that, but I do not remember any other than the drinking and the alcohol. So the first thing I done was smoke weed, and that was just the beginning. I started drinking, and also I done my first shot of cocaine. I didn't keep doing cocaine at the beginning, but I did drink and smoke pot. But addiction was the main part of my life for years. I used for years and years. I'm going to try to keep this in order the best I can. Over the years, I've been to at least 9 rehabs. They never worked for me. I had that lifestyle that I went back to every time that I would get out of rehab. I would hang with the same friends. I go to the same places, and I do the same thing. So nothing changed. It was just that lifestyle that I loved. I've been to prison 3 times over drugs and alcohol. And I was, regardless, that felt like it was something that was hanging over my head and that I had to do. So when I got out, normally I went right back to drugs and alcohol. In the beginning of my life of addiction, I really think it started with love, not having love in my life. I didn't love myself, and I felt like nobody loved me. I always went to men for love, and every man that I found was a drug addict. And, naturally, like in the lifestyle, I like the same type of men. And I guess because I never had my dad, I think that's why I look for love in all the wrong places. I didn't even love myself. I didn't know how. I didn't know what love was supposed to be like. Then I'm going to move on to my life as I started having kids. Kids was a big part of my life because I have 5 of them. And my twins are now 31 years old. I have a son that's 26. I have a daughter that's 22, and I have a daughter that's 16. My mama raised the first 3 of my kids, so I didn't know what it was like to be a mother. I was in and out, using drugs. And when I went to Mom's, it was always to recuperate. You know, I go in there, sleep a couple of days, get up, I was gone again. My son, he automatically, when he was 17, he left Henderson. He's been on pretty much on his own since that. But he did tell me the other night that he was using. And, you know, it broke my heart and he told me that he had a girlfriend that broke his heart. So I guess pretty much, you know, it's him looking for love in all the wrong places too. All my kids took the situation in a different way. Some of them, a couple of them, you know, loved me, respected me, and I guess all of them loved me because I was their mama. And I know they always wanted a mom instead of a grandma to, you know, go to school with them or anything. But I did raise my son, when he was about 11 months old, social service come in and took him. When they came, he was eating dry cereal off the floor, and I was asleep, and it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I never thought, you know, I was like, nobody's gonna take my son. But it didn't work out like that either because I was using drugs. My last 2 kids, I pretty much were the 2 that I tried to raise, you know. I was trying to do the best I could. I did keep a roof over their head, but my 22-year-old pretty much had to take care of the 16-year-old. So she went through a lot. But she accepted me every time I got clean, you know. She was able to accept things I was doing because she was glad, and she, like all of them, they hope I would stay clean. My 16-year-old, that's my heart. She is the one that gives me the most problems now. That's, I guess, you know, I worry about her more because life now is not like I used to be, like it was when I was living the young life. And like the other day, I told my mama, you know, now I see what I've done to her, you know, over the years, and I wish I could take it back. Over the time, I was married 3 different times. All of the marriages was violent. I was verbally, mental, and physically abused. At the time, I thought I deserved it. Because, like I say, I didn't love myself, and I thought that was just the way to be loved. So now I'm married. I've been married 10 years. It's not been a good 10 years. But, I mean, it wasn't all bad, but it was also physical, mental, and verbal abuse. And I never think, I just got tired of hitting rock bottom. I could come up 5 years, just say, for example, Sam, I never done 5 years at this time, but you could come up say 3 years, and it takes you 3 weeks to lose everything that you gained in that much time. And I just got tired of hitting rock bottom. And then finally, I realized that every journey must come to an end. It only gets worse. you think, well, it can't get no worse. It can get worse. I'm lucky to be alive today, and thank God I am. My life was a path of destruction. I had let my family go. I had let anyone that cared about me go. I love my family, but it was like I ran from them when I was getting high because I didn't want them to see me that way. I can't remember when I used to see my mama's number come up, it'd be like, oh no, don't answer that. And yeah, I loved them, and like I say, I was just numb to the fact that they didn't understand at the time what I was going through with the addiction, and I didn't understand what they were going through. So everybody gets hurt in the family. It's not just the addict. The family hurts just as bad. Also, I loved all my kids, but saying that, I didn't raise all my children, but the last two I did, and they were taken out of the homes so many times from social service. They had to go to different places to stay. They hated that, and I hated it too, but at the time I couldn't change it. I really, really wanted to, but I just couldn't let go of the drug. And like I said, the youngest, she was my heart and the one that I worry about because she's got that lifestyle. She's in the streets and she tortures me like I torture my mom. Like I said, the rock bottom wasn't no fun. Losing everything wasn't no fun. Running the street in the cold winter, no coat, barefooted, looking drugs, going miles and miles to get there. Wasn't no fun. But you just keep on doing it. But you know, finally I thought I tried so many things, so many times, so many different people with the bad lifestyles, the only ones that I knew, until I thought, well, this is over. I've got to do something different. Amen. And that's when I turned to God. Yes, Lord. I got saved. I got baptized. I found different places, people and things that I thought did not exist. And I finally turned to people that I knew were there for me, that would support me, that I didn't think I had. I never thought that I would have someone that cared about me, loved me the way love was supposed to be. Love is a big word to me because I never.
It's all right. Take your time. It's all right. Thank God you found it. We love you. Yes, we do. We know you love it.
But for years, I didn't think I had love, but nobody loved me like that. I began to love myself.
Amen.
That's where it started at.
Yes.
Learning to love myself. And through God, I knew all things was possible. I started seeing my family change their attitude and towards me, that they never really turned their back on me. They just hated what I was doing and the life I was living. And they started, like I said, I didn't realize it. They were turning around. They were proud of me. They was glad to see me off drugs. They just wanted me to stay off drugs. And the whole time they're like, oh God, I hope she don't do it again. Hope she don't go back. I'd do it a few months and I'd do it again. But God had me all along. And I started going to church meetings. I went, let's see, March the 27th of 2015. After 9 months, I relapsed. I was going to Blessed Hope at the time. Can't remember, it was Blessed Hope Addiction and Recovery meeting at the time. And I relapsed after being clean for 9 months. I was crushed. I know time don't matter, but to me, it was like I had accomplished something, and then I let myself down. I only used for one day. I told Jamie what I did. I called him, he said, well, you can't do nothing but get back up. When that van comes through here Tuesday night, get on it, which was the next night. And I hopped on it. And so I got clean again December the 27th of 2015. So now, as to date now, I've been clean 4 years and 2 months. I prayed, I repented, I stayed in church, meeting with my support group, putting God first. And God never left me and never stopped loving me all along. But I knew the first thing I needed to do was repent. Repent to God for letting him down. But I know I got an awesome God, and he had me. I was one of the first members of Blessed Hope when it started. Well, Grace Ministries, when it became Grace Ministries. I was one of the first members, and I used to work at the store on Raleigh Road. I worked there a couple of years, and I was very faithful to being there. Then I started having health problems, and I had several different surgeries in like months apart. But you know, even though I started having health problems, it more or less made me lazy to the fact that, well, I mean, I never stopped my meetings in church and stuff like that, my support people. I never stopped that because I knew I needed that in my life. But I did get slack. I used to be in church every Sunday morning, every Sunday night. It wasn't a day I missed. And I mean, people noticed when I wasn't down. And that made me feel good to know that I was missed in a church body, you know. That really made me feel good to know that. okay? It hasn't always been easy at all. I mean, days and days, Satan has been on my back at different times. But I can't allow Satan to beat me. God is bigger than that. And I can't allow Satan. I just had to let him get under my feet, because I refuse to let him win. So I continue to pray, read his word, and stay with my support group. Now, I'm too blessed to be stressed.